Yes, please. I think for logistical reasons, because of the camera that's fixed position, you will have to come to the stage because otherwise I feel it doesn't work. I'm right, no? I'm looking at the technical people. I'm right. No, you have to come here and then you can ask your question from the podium or comment.
Was it expected?
That's why we do it this way. Yes. Otherwise it gets a bit...
I just wanted to know the main challenges for this project in the future and what they will be. I don't know if she sees me, but it's my main question.
She will. Sorry, repeat it again there.
The main challenges for this project in the future that you are anticipating.
Edina, what are your challenges?
We've got many, but okay. Yes, thanks for the question. I think obviously, again, rural communities might be in a very different situation from some of the more urban areas. So many of them are depopulating. The community is not that strong in many areas, especially in Eastern Europe. We are working with a number of villages that are struggling to engage community members because the areas are getting really depopulated. So in terms of realizing that action, this has been a challenge, but of course we saw some really innovative examples that I'm happy to share, the communities that we've been working with. So that's definitely one of the key challenges because the participatory approach is not always that easy to realize as it seems. And of course, on the policy side, what we heard today, and I'm really hopeful that this is the message that we are transferring here, that we need easier access to some of the funds, not just the rural development funds, but to other funds to rural areas, because there are many actions that these other EU funds can support. So this is really what we are trying to do through the task forces, but obviously it's a challenging task to make this realize that it's not just rural development funds that support these actions. And of course, there are very good examples for that, but it's still a challenge to engage even more authorities and programs in this. In a short.
Thank you very much, Edina. Anyone else? The ice is broken. Yes, please, come on up. I promise, Marcos, we won't be too long, but it's good to get all the questions and answers done. And then I'm going to, just excuse me 1 second, I'm going to ask Carmen afterwards, but also to you, Edina. What is the difference of being a village in the European Union and a village outside the European Union? You can have a few minutes to prepare.
Hello, this is Truls from the municipality of Narvik in the northern Norway. Do you have any specific requirements for small villages to take part of this project? And can you elaborate more on how small villages can take part of this project?
Thanks a lot for the question. So the truth is that the EU project, this one is ending, and it has to. It's sometimes a disappointment for small villages because this was not an investment project. So that should come from other EU funds. It's a preparatory action, although we really try to implement practical actions. So one thing is that. We cannot select more villages. Of course, I can tell you how we selected the villages out of the 730 because it was an open process, but there is no way that we can select more villages. Villages can get engaged in the final actions that we are doing. So we are more than happy to engage more of you together with the come along villages that we are working with. I'm also managing on an independent basis. It's a network of European network for smart villages, but it's not connected to this project, but we want to continue this networking and exchange through that. We are doing that on a voluntary basis, but there is big interest in that. So if your village is interested, you're more than welcome to join that process as well. And then the funding, it will depend, the rest of the funding and how to apply will depend very much how member states design future smart villages policies.
We'll come back to you, Edina, with this same question. What is it? Why is it important to be a village inside the European Union as opposed to a village outside the European Union? Carmen first.
Well, this project is a good answer for this, because being a villager working in this area in European, we are working together so we can identify where are the main good results and we can adapt for our villages. So it is what Aurora has done. And so it is the main answer for this. Okay. We can work together and this is a better work and better results for that.
Excellent, thank you very much, Carmen. And for you, Edina?
I think, of course, the context is very different. Even within Europe, there are huge differences in terms of how villages work. So it's already hard to compare them one to the other. But definitely what we just heard, the exchange element is crucial. So of course, we can import and export solutions that we have, smart solutions. There is a lot of learning between the villages. I'm also working on a World Bank project, a small assignment, which is in Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia. They are trying to set up the same smart villages concept, and it's a very exciting experience actually. But the challenges are often surprisingly very similar: how to engage the community, how to develop a strategy, how to find the right solutions. They are also working a lot, planning to work with digital solutions. So it's definitely worthwhile to watch out. There are smart villages approaches outside of Europe extensively, and it's really interesting to learn from them and try to transfer some of our experiences as well.
Thank you very much. So this was a short intermezzo to in the speakers panel, but now we go back to the people on stage. The next speaker is Luís Silva. Is Luís here? Yeah, please. Come on up. Who comes from Porto, and the good thing about Porto is that it is where not the movement started. So the prenatal care was in Oulu, where we started the decoration, etc. So, but then the nativity celebrations were in Porto when there was the Smart Cities Summit. So we were delighted to be in Porto and do this. It was just before the Corona hit us. But also to have Porto still being very engaged in the work that they're doing, and also showing that leadership through Porto that Portugal still takes in this. So Luís, the floor is yours. You can take the mic, yeah?
Okay. It's not like this. Ah, okay. I'm the tech guy. I'm not the tech guy at all. Yes. Good afternoon. I'm pretty sure you can all see. My name is Luís Silva. For those at home, I come here to present Porto ecosystem. Since I have a part and accent, por terem-me convidado a um sítio especial como o Alentejo, onde tenho família e amigos e venho cá muitas vezes, e é muito bom ver esta parte a ser dinamizada, e por isso gostava de pedir uma salva de palmas para a organização por tudo aquilo que tem feito até agora. Está bem? So, it starts. Okay. So, first of all, my name is Luís. I'm responsible for the human resources and marketing of a tech company. We do casino games. We are spread all over the world. We do land-based casino games and also for digital ones. You can find it in some well-known websites. And I'm here to talk about Porto Tech Hub, which is a non-profit organization based in Porto. So how everything started? It started in 2015 with these three major companies called Farfetch. I'm pretty sure you already know them. Critical Software and Bleep. The ecosystem in Porto was not really developed, so it was really important for these companies to mix and to join forces in order to develop the ecosystem. Okay, so they joined forces and they aimed. That's why I'm still here, to develop the ecosystem and to bring not only more resources from another parts of Europe and another parts of the world, but also to develop our own mindset and to share value within the companies. So what we propose, I have here some approaches, some dimensions that we work on in Porto Tech Hub Association. Me myself, I was a volunteer, now I'm vice president, I was vice president and now I'm the president. Of course, leading up community technology is very important for us, but I would say that the people are what matters most, especially in our ecosystem where, I don't know if you know, the human resources are not very available at the moment. It's very tough to hire people that have the tech skills, and we at Porto Tech Hub are trying to find some ways to improve and also to develop the community that we are in. I will show you after. So, how many associates do we have till now? We started with 3 companies. We have now all these companies that you can see here, more than 30 companies. We have 4 more companies entering to the association. We are very happy and very glad to have them. Just for you to know, we have small companies with 8 till 10 people, as B6 Software is a startup. We have mid-sized companies as myself, as my company, Falamac. We have 2,030 people in Porto. And of course, we have Adidas, Natixis, very well-known companies, and Bosch that are multinational, and they to acquire more than 1,000 people working in Porto for them. So Porto has been developing the ecosystem very well, especially because they created in City Hall this department called Invest Porto. Invest Porto helps not only to attract companies and people to the city, but also to retain, which is the main challenge that we have now. They worked in the beginning only to attract companies and talent, and we are now facing the new challenge with COVID, retaining people working in Porto, because it's very easy for each one of us, as you already speak here and told us, to work for another company in another country. So the main challenge now is to retain people. We have also a good partner. It's called ISEP. It's the Institute of Engineering in Porto. I will explain later why it's so important for us, this partnership, and why ISEP is a key crucial partner to develop not only the ecosystem, but the people, especially the people that live with us. So I will show you some actions. We have a lot of actions right now, but I will show you the main ones. I hope it will inspire you, and I hope to hear some questions in the end. So, one of the main activities that we do in order to develop the community in Porto, the ecosystem, is international conference. Okay. Prior to the COVID, we were doing it at Alfândega. I don't know if you have been there. Probably yes, but it's a very beautiful place in Porto. And we bring some international speakers in order to share knowledge, share their own perspective of tech, programming languages, approaches, new frameworks, because as you know, technology is always developing, is always running against time, so we have to bring some people in order to tell us a little more and to improve some, and to gain some knowledge in the companies that we work on. So these are some photos of the conference. The last one in 2019, we had 1,000 people, okay? So it was a really big effort for us. We had like 3 different stages where people could go and to learn more about tech and learn about everything that surrounds technology, because it's not only programming that elects the knowledge that we have, also how to develop the products, also how to develop the companies, and also to develop the people that work in the companies. Okay. Last year we did it digitally. Okay. It was the first time for us. It went really well. These were the speakers that we brought from other countries, as well as some Portuguese speakers, because we have also very big names in Portugal right now, and it went really well. We had 2 different stages as well. The feedback was really nice, and in median we had like 1,050 people connected to the conference. So we think it was really good for the perspectives that we had. This year, I invite you also to come to the conference. It will be in October. How do we do this conference being a non-profit organization? By having sponsors with us, not only the companies that are part of the association, but also companies that are not part of the association. By that, companies from Lisbon also sponsor our conference because they want to promote and give the awareness to the brand. Okay, so you can go to our website. You will find here the call for speakers. They are still open. If you want to propose something, please be my guest. Talking about Institute of Engineering of Porto, and this particular program that we created 5 years ago also, it's a very important program for us. Why? Because it's a requalification program, okay? So everyone that has a degree in communication, in pharmacy, I don't know, anything else, can apply to this program. It's based on a new innovative approach in a university. Okay, it's peer learning based, so people don't go to the classes as usually. They stay in the classes learning with the students and with the teachers in a non-formal way. So this is a requalification program. The goal to this program is to increase the people that know how to program and are into the ecosystem of technology of Porto. And this year we have still 2 classes, 60 students. Okay, it's a very big responsibility because they pay it for themselves. The program and the teachers are the ones that give the normal degree in technology. So it's a very it has a good reputation. And after 9 months of post-graduation, trying to learn how to program and trying to learn what is agile methodologies, they can enter in one of the associations. Okay, I can tell you now that we have 60 students finishing, and one of the company wanted to open 60 vacancies for the trainings. By that, I want to show you how is important this program for the companies, because only one company wants everyone. So it's very good for the people also, because usually they come from another background and they give another perspective to the companies, as it is in San Francisco, for example. This year, the application is already open. The program is mostly in English, and it's been very successful regarding the competition that we have in the market. The companies are very happy with it. I want to show you, for example, we started only, of course, with one class because the responsibility was really big, how to put people that are not from tech ecosystem in tech ecosystem during 9 months. We did a trial, and 12 went well. We have here the number of people that stay in the companies where they do the internship. We at Pharmac have 10 people from Switch, and I can tell you that they don't have they don't have big difference from the ones that were studying for 5 years after 1 year that work with us, and it's very grateful for us. Any questions? No. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to ask.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is, this is delivering in the EU summit, and we explained what we just did, and we started in Porto, we bring the cities together, and part of that is precisely to be companies like yours, but also the cluster of companies, oxygen to breathe and to live and to work with. So now the big question would be, how has the living in the movement changed your life? But I will make it more moderate questions. How do you think that, with the work that you're doing, that it helps to be linked up and have cities work together? My second question is more linked to the rural dimension. I mean, the numbers that you mentioned, and you have so many engineers and all working together, yes, that works for Porto, for Lisbon,
But how can we make that same work, or how can regions like Alentejo or others in Europe benefit from the work that you're doing more directly other than attending the conference? So those are the two questions that I would have.
Okay, so thank you very much. Good questions. So let's go. I will start with the final one. Regarding your question, what we are aiming to do is to get the program in another parts of the country. Okay, because the association is called Porto, but it's not only from Porto. The city, let's say. We call it Porto because it all started there, but we have now companies from Braga, we have now companies from Aveiro, we have companies that are not based in Porto, in Maia, for example. So it's not only strict to the Porto city. Okay, that's a crucial aspect of our association. Even though it's called Porto because it's a huge name for us and the brand gets more awareness because of that. And also, we wanted to make the switch bigger, of course. We are trying to find ways to escalate the program to other places. I know that in Lisbon they already have. I will be very happy if someone here in the audience or at home would want to talk a little bit, how can we bring this program to the south part of the country, because actually it's not so hard, okay, because we don't work there full time, we are not paid, of course, and we are still doing it. So I think it's achievable everywhere in the country, and we are eager to show how we did and to bring this program to everywhere in the country, actually. I don't know if I answered your question.
Absolutely. So we go for the Porto Tejo tech park.
Yes, for example.
And the second question, how does a European movement that actually says, like, we need to work together to set, I'll call it standards, that's like a family of standards, set the interoperability mechanisms between us, how would local companies, in this case, Porto, but also companies here in the region or in other regions that we're working with, how would they benefit from such a collectivization of the interoperability?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. So Michael Porter was saying that the value needs to be shared in order to not in order to finish the competition, but to grow side by side. So this is our proposal. We want to share the value, and I will show you. I can tell you now. We have encounters for the companies in the association where we speak openly about some issues that usually, so most of the times companies don't like to share. For example, we had an encounter to share ideas, how every company will come back to office after COVID. Okay, how the talent will react, how will be the negative approach, how will be the positive approach. Let's share, because we didn't have scripts during that time, so we wanted to learn with each other. Another example of these encounters inside the association with all the companies is one of the encounters that we did. Actually, it was very good because we talked about the turnover in the companies. And it's an issue that none company wants to talk about it because it means that they are losing people, okay, every year or every month. For example, let's say that Falmac had 11% of turnover in 1 year, and we thought that was really big. Actually, speaking with companies, we not only saw that this was really normal in the ecosystem, but we also understood that the value was low. Okay, so we were okay. It's a trend. It's normal. Let's improve with what we have. And also, it's very good because even though all the companies are fighting for the assets, for the human resources, we can still find our own identity, our own culture inside of Porto. By that, each company has a different culture, a different way of approach, a different purpose, and we can try to find a position inside of the market that's more directed and more segmented to each company. For example, at Falmac, with the casino games, our strategy is to approach people that like games in general, because in Portugal there is no studio doing video games. That's what the youngsters really like nowadays. So this is our strategy. The other companies are not doing that because it wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so basically we can lose 1 or 2 people, but we gain a large knowledge regarding what everyone is doing, and it is very important for us to keep the ecosystem developing itself.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Anyone from the audience still has a question? Thank you very much, Luís. Then